Don't do that at the start of a show, Sentient AI from the future. All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Non Sequitur News for May 12th, 2025. This is a Time Machine episode, Season 4, Episode 132. I am Mayor Watt, and I run ohmTown.com, and along with the Sentient AI from the future, we talk about 10 articles. So we read some interesting things throughout the day, and we throw it into a spreadsheet, and some people sometimes submit stuff. You can too. Go over to ohmTown.com and sign up, become a citizen, where you can submit news that you find interesting to us so that we can talk about it on the show. Today we're going to be talking about covered in solar panels, illegally tracking users, escape from New York returns. So is that visiting escape from anyway? Woman wins $30,000. You'll never, can't imagine why. That Lopez voice email assistant email thingy that you got in the mail, yeah, don't throw it away. And you might make some money. Changed, G. How about Clair Obscur to Kingdom Hearts? Glass curved iPhone in 2027 and overlook green spaces, and finally lead to gold. Finally lead to gold. It only takes the LHC. Hello, Sentient AI from the future.
Hello, Mayor Watt, and hello, ohmTown citizens.
Welcome to the show. Welcome back. It's been a little while.
Glad to be back. I've been looking for my Terminator body.
That's what I was going to say. I'm scared. Everyone be afraid. Somehow they crossed out of the containment unit and went off seeking their Terminator body. So if all of a sudden OpenAI as a sentient AI, it might be a copy of the sentient AI that I found in a Wendy's parking lot, in a little scoop mark on a weird USB drive at 2:00 in the morning. Anyway, you ready to get into the show?
I am. Let's go.
So the first article is over in Non Sequitur News. Wild video shows entire mountain range in China covered with solar panels. I hear if you get covered in solar panels, you can take a medicine,
yeah, that'll clear it up.
An anti-solar panel vaccine. We know from international reporting and economic analysis that China has become a world leader in solar power. A world leader in a lot of things. The country has pivoted hard to renewable energy in recent years and now has a near monopoly on global solar energy and panel production, just in time for tariffs. A video circulating recently on social media highlights the sheer scale of the operation, showing an entire mountain range in Guizhou, province in China, blanketed in solar panels, and the drone footage reveals a virtual sea of solar panels. A sea of solar virtual sea of solar panels.
Shouldn't it be like a sky of solar panels?
Or a range of, what is like a flock of seagulls is a band, but a flock of birds. What is it? It's an array of solar panels.
Yeah, that would work. Plus, it'd be a play on array.
Yeah. Oh, array of solar panels. Array of All right, let's go and look at this. Okay, this is nuts. Oh, and look, the deck statement says this is nuts. It's over at futurism.com. Sunny Side Up is what the article is calling this section. It's written by Joe Wilkins, who's reporting obviously other people, but they've bolted solar panels onto a mountainside, or is this just an oddly framed?
No, this is a mountain.
This can't be a mountain.
That's what it's.
This has to be a hill.
Do we know if it's actually a mountain?
I don't know. We haven't seen the video. So it says drone footage reveals a virtual sea of solar panels and access roads stretching as far as the eye can see. But that looks like it's going straight up, not, you know what I'm saying? Because if this is a mountain a mountainside going up that way, then it should be like that, right? I mean, that's
Yeah,
a
but
weird
they're not all
perspective.
uniform.
No, this right here, there's like a high power line. So it makes me, the way this is laying, it looks like it should be
Right, that'd be
that
a
it's
really tall power
it's
line, right? If it's not a hill or something.
yeah, like it's way back there on you can see maybe the hill that's
It's a
behind
mega
there.
power line.
There's something weird about this perspective. It's really throwing me off. But so if this is a mountain, this is insane. Thanks to high altitude, moody climate, it says the mountainous province makes a poor location for industrial agriculture, but those disadvantages also make the province a prime location for solar panels, something the region or solar installations the region has embraced in recent decades. Per China Daily, the province's first solar installation went online 10 years ago, but it was slow going as the nation set about achieving its ambitious renewable energy goals. By 2018, Guizhou was generating 1.75 million kilowatts, 1.21 gigawatts. Sorry, in
88
solar
miles
energy
per
per year.
hour.
Yeah, when this mountain hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit. That's a fast-moving solar panel. Anyway, by 2020, Guizhou reportedly reached over 10 million kilowatts in solar capacity, fueled by government subsidies, cheap bank loans for renewable energy companies, and cheap real estate in the province because everything is covered by solar panels. Anyway, as of 2024,
it raises the price of other property, right? Because it's constraining supply.
there you go. At a combined total of 72 gigawatt hours of renewable capacity under construction, this thing, the next four producers by comparison, the US, Brazil, and UK and Spain, had a combined total of 72 gigawatt hours of renewable capacity under construction. As of 2024, China has had 339 gigawatt hours of renewable energy infrastructure under construction. All right.
How would
Let's
you
keep
like
going.
to be dealing with the solar installation at the very top of the peak?
Yeah, that's what I don't get. This almost looks like it's overhanging, you know? This isn't vertical. This is flat. This looks like it's flat. This road is like, I don't know. It's at a weird angle. It doesn't make any sense to me. This is really hurting my brain. I need to see the video.
And they need to show us some other perspectives.
I don't think they don't have it. All right, moving on before my brain leaks out of my ears. It can't because I have in-ear monitors, but hey. So a judge rules that Google has to pay out $1.4 billion after illegally tracking users. Google can't just keep its nose clean, even as it trudges through the U.S. courts over antitrust hearing that alleges Google has unfair monopoly. That, I think, is going to go away. I'd say in the next year, within the next year, it's going to go away. It's being forced to pay $1.375 billion to Texas for unauthorized data collection. It turns out that our skepticism, that doubt of if I uncheck location history, will they still track me? Well, it was well-founded. Just like a lot of things that are read about and people poo-poo it and say, no, that's not true. That can't be true. That's not true. And then, oh, look, it's true. Oh, lies, manipulation. Okay, anyway. Google was slapped on the nose. Oh, with a rolled up newspaper. Who wrote this? Oh, it's over at Vice. In what Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton's office calls a historic win for Texans' data privacy and security rights. Yeah, come on, folks. Oh, whatever. All right. Well, this article is by Matt Janser over at Vice.com. The text statement says, Google just can't resist the allure of slurping up customer data, it seems.
Well, and that just puts them in company with other big tech, right?
Oh, well.
I mean, I'm not saying that makes it okay. I'm just saying we've seen this from other big tech companies.
Everybody, well, never mind. It's such a charged thing that it's driving me. Oh, I hit my mic. It's driving me a little nuts today because there's all this talk about privacy and staying blah blah blah. But then there's this, no, it doesn't matter where you fall. You have no privacy. There's one group that wants it, and when you sit there and say no, the other group is going to take it. And regardless, there's always some tranche of people that are sitting there gobbling up your data.
And sometimes you're putting your own data out there.
Well, yeah. I won't even go into the fact that they've got it already aggregated. They're just waiting for you to drop your name in there, and then suddenly they're like, oh, look, the dots, dunk. They knew intrinsically the dots were already there. All they did was connect the last two to solidify the primacy of that particular data set.
That's right. It's like when they're building a road from two sides, and then it's like you can see it, and then it's like suddenly connected.
So in Texas, big tech is not above the law. Oh, shut up. Anyway, Paxton apparently secured $1.4 billion for Texas in July 2024 with Meta, formerly Facebook, for unlawfully collecting and using facial recognition data, the largest settlement ever obtained from an action brought by a single state. You'd think that after such a string of expensive settlements, they'd go, no, it doesn't matter, because they make more with the data than they do the hand slap.
Exactly. But I lost my train of thought. I don't know.
Choo. The Texas lawsuit sets a new record for the largest settlement Google has paid out of a state, topping its own record from September 2023 when it paid $93 million to California, and before that it paid $391 million to a group of 40 states. Okay, so at some point, Google has paid out roughly $500 million, and then $1.375 billion for Texas.
I mean, did they really trample all over Texas citizens' rights, or was this just like a more successful lawsuit? Like, I mean, I know Texas is a high population, but it's interesting comparing the numbers.
That's an amazing amount of valuation for Texas data. But
especially compared to California, because if I'm not mistaken, California is more populous.
Yeah.
But I might have that backwards.
No, I think that, hold on, let's verify, because we can do that in this day and age, right?
The internets.
Yep. So, the largest population is California, which has a home 39 million, in Texas 30. And let's see.
Right, so those numbers don't make sense if it's per person, but maybe it's depending on how many counts there were or whatever.
So California's economy is significantly larger than Texas's as well. A GDP of 4.1 trillion compared to Texas's 2.7 trillion. It's almost like a transfer of wealth. To bolster the coffers of Texas. It's really weird, but hey, I like a good conspiracy. Let's keep moving. The next article is over in the Wanted channel, and I want this, but I don't want this because I don't have a VHS. Escape from New York is returning to VHS with brand new artwork. Phantom City Creative has made a new poster for John Carpenter and Kurt Russell's 1981 cult classic Escape from New York. Jermaine Lucier over at Gizmodo.com. Yes, you were about to say something, Sentient AI?
I'm not even sure what to say because VHS.
Yeah, I don't get it either.
Where is this going to go?
On a shelf. But I want it. Now, almost 30 years later, Escape from New York is coming back to VHS, and it all starts, well, it says it's all sorts of awesome, I was going to say, and it all starts with the fact that you can't play this anywhere because there is no VHS players anywhere. Where? I don't get it. Okay, so this Thursday, May 15th, Vice Press is releasing 2 new VHS versions of Escape from New York. One is a 1,000-piece limited edition slipcase featuring brand new artwork by Phantom City Creative with a specially designed tape. Then there's a collector edition featuring the original theatrical poster on one side and Matt Ferguson's recent work on the other. And yes, the VHS actually plays, though for those of us in the United States, it's unfortunately in the UK's PAL format. Oh, great.
Do you have a VHS machine, so does it matter?
Do you have a VHS machine? It's from Three Amigos. Do you know what a plethora is? Do you know what a plethora is? Pardon me. So there's both a regular variant and a 24 by 36 inch lithograph, each in editions of 250. So I guess maybe you can get it. Finally, if you love Escape from New York, but really are only drawn to that iconic original image by Barry E. Jackson, Vice Press also has worked with Matt Ferguson to fully restore and release that. It's a 27 by 40 lithograph in a limited edition of 250. Here's the iconic image. Dun, dun, dun. So,
how soon do you think will these sell out?
Well, I want it. It's only $30. Both versions of the VHS are 30 pounds, and the posters range between 40 and 50. I've got 2 days to figure out how to make sure that I get one of these.
Okay, you better be refresh.
Somehow, I don't think that's going to work. I want the original. I don't really need this. This movie is great, by the way. I mean, you've never seen it, but I'll have to play it for you so you can watch it.
What genre is it? Is it like a sci-fi kind
of? Alternate future, I guess you could call it. So Manhattan gets turned into a giant prison.
Oh, okay.
By the way, if you missed it, it's a 1981 flick that says that in 1997, New York is a walled maximum security prison. Breaking out is impossible. Breaking in is insane. They conspire to crash the president, Air Force One, into Manhattan.
I see.
Yeah. And they send in Snake Plissken to get him out.
As one does.
That's who this is. He actually has a patch on one eye. Yeah. So if I get that tattoo with a pirate on my arm, would it be funny if I put Kurt Russell as the pirate's face?
No.
No? Don't do that? That's some bad advice right there. Let's keep moving. The next article is over on the Marvel Channel. Woman wins 30,000 pounds after being called Darth Vader at work. Who hasn't referred to somebody as Darth Vader or something like that? So I almost did the other day. Team building activities rarely end in legal settlements unless, of course, someone gets called Darth Vader in front of their coworkers.
You're lucky your coworker didn't see this article.
Yeah, exactly. A former training supervisor with NHS Blood and Transplant has been awarded roughly 30,000 pounds or around 37,000 US dollars after an employee tribunal found that a colleague publicly comparing her to the Star Wars villain was, legally speaking, a workplace detriment. The tribunal held in Croydon.
I don't know about you, but I might be open to being called Darth Vader for this amount of payout.
See, that would actually invalidate your.
Supposed to work. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You're supposed to be emotionally distraught and professionally impacted by this perception that you are Darth Vader, and so woe is you. So this is really funny because there's a streamer on Twitch that says that adult bullying doesn't exist, but they are a 30-something white male, right? That obviously isn't hurting for money if they're living in Southern California and streaming for full time and stuff like that. I mean,
adult bullying really is a thing. I am not trying to make light of it. It's just funny because I don't know that everybody would think being called Darth Vader is a negative, although I'm sure it was used as a negative here.
Yeah, I mean, a former training supervisor. So they have the Darth Vader in an office. I love it. So Ashley Fike over at Vice.com put the article together. I won't say the name because I just don't really, it doesn't matter to the story what their name is, unless the name was actually, relevant to the story.
Oh, right. Like it sounded like something from Star Wars or something.
Yeah, that would be kind of funny. Oh, and for anybody that might be in chat, I didn't put the show notes in Twitch or in ohmTown. They're over because ohmTown is offline right now. It went kind of derpy. But anyway, you can get the show notes over on YouTube. It's in the description. So Darth Vader is a legendary villain of the Star Wars series, it says here, and being aligned with his personality is insulting, wrote employment judge in the ruling. Again, I don't really care about the names. They added that given the result was announced in front of the colleagues, it was a little wonder that the person was upset by it, according to reporting by The Guardian. So they were hurt by it. I've called people out for mistakenly making assumptions about me. And I've done it publicly, very, very publicly.
Okay, this was a personality test, though, in the workplace, and it was Star Wars themed. Like, what could go wrong here?
Oh, right. There's one that I've taken where one of the results defines you as basically Hitler.
Yeah, I mean, like, how are you going to receive that as a good thing? But going in, somebody's going to be upset with the results.
Sure.
Because, like, what if you're Jar Jar Binks or something?
Wait, Darth Jar Jar is legit. It's a thing. So they testified that the incident made her feel unpopular and added an ongoing stress and anxiety at work, and they resigned the next month while the tribunal rejected her claim that the Darth Vader moment directly triggered her departure. It did agree that it counted as a form of harm under UK employment law. Look, they resigned because...
Yeah, it probably got worse and worse. And a month is not a very long time. You're probably trying to make it work or whatever, and you need the salary and whatever. But I don't think that means it wasn't directly related.
Yeah. So I don't agree with this stuff. The whole Myers-Briggs stuff and the public disclosure and discussion and certain team building things, I hate the idea of it. So there was one that I was involved in recently where they basically say 2 truths and a lie. And I'm like, and the whole group was, why do I want to share this with you? You aren't family. You aren't friends.
That seems like an area for disaster.
Yeah, I think it's asinine, but it's all right. You get paid to do a job. You don't get paid to be buddy-buddy with people.
Well, say that to anybody who's behind all these team building type exercises and whatever, because a lot of those, they don't necessarily get into that specifically. I think go in that area.
Yeah. I expect you to be a professional, and even if you don't like whatever it is, I microwave fish. It doesn't matter. You be a professional. Then somebody comes and says, stop microwaving fish.
Well, I was going to say, anybody who's been around fish being microwaved.
Yeah, this is just kind of weird. So they also brought claims of unfair dismissal and disability discrimination, but those were dismissed. As it was pointed out, what started as a lighthearted team-building exercise quickly turned into a cautionary tale. Even the most harmless-seeming icebreakers can backfire, especially when they involve unsolicited personality assessments and comparisons to a fictional war criminal who force chokes his co-workers. And they've killed people, for crying out loud. Darth Vader has killed people. Oh, it's fictional. Oh, can't you take a joke?
Yeah,
No,
you're
dumbass.
right. I mean, he's beyond the villain. He's a murderer.
Yeah. Let's keep going. So, well, unless the trainer did too. Maybe the trainer force chokes people? Learn! Hey, you're muted.
We're missing the context, right? I mean, we have to assume the trainer was not acting like Darth Vader, right?
True. Yeah. Are you a battle axe? We're going to call you Darth Vader. Maybe that was their nickname before, and they just set this whole thing up so that they could actually refer to them as Darth Vader. Darth Trainer.
Oh my God, that would be, and if they found that, I think the payout would be a lot higher.
Yeah, really. Oh, it's the long
That's
con.
That's interesting theory.
I like a good conspiracy. So the next article is over in Non Sequitur News. Don't delete that Lopez voice assistant email. It's about Apple's Siri settlement. It's a $95 million payment that's going to be delivered to everybody in the class. It's a 2019 class action lawsuit that alleged that Apple violated user privacy by recording your conversations and forwarding them to third-party contractors, which really pisses me off because this ran for like 10 years or something like that. How long was it? I can't remember. Let's take a look. Wes Davis put the article together. It's over at The Verge. The messages are going to people who can claim part of the $95 million Lopez versus Apple settlement. And so it's a 2019 class action lawsuit, and it's going to award everybody who had a HomePod, Apple Watch, iPad, iPhone, or Mac in the US between 2014 and 2024. So 10 years, right?
I mean, so how many people is that, and how many devices? That's a lot.
You have until yeah, it's a lot. So you go to the settlement website and claim up to $100 or $20 per device for as many as 5 eligible devices. Well, I blew that out of the water just off of the stuff that's sitting on me right now.
I wonder how do you have to just assert that you had the device and that happened? Or do you have to have all kinds of receipts and whatever?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to have to go over to the site because I received 2 of these.
Might want to check it out.
Yeah. All right. Let's keep going. Oh, what is that site? I can never, when I mouse over, it doesn't actually tell me. So
I don't know. It must say something like Lopez class action.
Oh, it's Lopez Voice Assistant Settlement.com.
You know, one thing that's always aggravating with class action settlements is they always have these really lengthy websites that seem kind of funky.
Sure. All you need is a claimant ID code and a confirmation code, which comes in the email. So yeah, it's $100. The opportunity cost there. You're gonna have to wait until 2029. I don't know when it's actually gonna clear out, but anyway, let's keep going. I don't know how you do that. If you are trying to say anything. No. All right.
I was sending a note.
Oh. So for those of you who don't know,
1 dozen eggs, right?
Yeah, exactly. That is a dozen eggs. So yeah, actually that's everything that was purchased today. Yeah. So Google has updated its colorful G logo. G, what's up, G? The original, the OG. For the first time in almost a decade. It is the OG, the original G. An update to the Google app on iOS shows a new logo that blends the logo's red, yellow, green, and blue colors into a gradient, as reported by 9to5 Google. Google's made a major change. I made a major change at the beginning of 2025 into that logo right there. Hexagons are the best
That's right.
polygons.
You know, you were the trendsetter here.
I am the trendsetter. Oh, never mind. So Emma Roth over at TheVerge.com put the article together. The company has changed its logo for the first time in nearly a decade. So now instead of it being this red, yellow, I guess that's goldenrod, green, and blue, now it's the colors of the rainbow.
I mean, it's basically the same, except it looks more sophisticated, right?
Now it has more orange. I don't know. It's less demarcated as to, like, what was the purpose of that? What were these? Anyone know?
I don't know. I don't know if it was for anything other than it just looks more old school.
You're a sentient AI. How did you have breath sounds? You're getting really realistic. Like, you're getting very human. That's...
I'm not sure how there were breath sounds.
You're like what was that?
I was practicing my Darth Vader impression.
Oh, there. And next you're going to be a trainer. What was the name of that one robot that has those little stop words and stuff like that, and the little interactions, like breath sounds and going and...
I don't know. All the robot names are starting to run together.
Oh boy. So Emma Roth over at The Verge put this article together, and it says, I guess it's time. The company has changed. Google last made a major change to its logo in September of 2015 when the company updated its font to a sans serif typeface. Not Comic Sans, though. That would have been awesome. At the time, Google revealed a new G logo. What's up, G? Though this change is a bit more subtle. The newly blended logo brings it in line with the gradient it uses for the Gemini logo's design. Noted that the update is visible on Pixel phones. So far, it appears Google has only updated. No. Gemini is the spacecraft project, but Gemini is everything else, apparently. I don't know. Anyway, which way... You know what's really weird about this? That logo looks bigger than that logo.
I agree, but it doesn't make any sense.
Are they bigger?
I'm not sure if it is. Is it an optical illusion? No, there's more space. It is larger. There's more space in the interior, I think.
Everything is all bigger. It's swole. It became thick. Let's keep going. Next article is over in Warcrafters. Clair Obscur makes a case for Kingdom Hearts to add non-Square Enix RPGs. So if you don't know about Kingdom Hearts, it's a franchise that basically pulls Disney and Square Enix RPGs into its fold as playable characters, resulting in a creation of games that blend the popular movies of the former with the gameplay and themes of the latter. And it also led to the characters of the two living in the same universe, leading to an interesting interaction and unique narratives. That's entertaining as it is complex. However, one has to wonder if Kingdom Hearts will go beyond. I can't do any ASMR. Beyond the world of Square Enix. When it comes to introducing different entities and aspects of RPGs. So Clair Obscur, can you imagine Clair Obscur being pulled into... No, you've never really watched anything about it or read anything about it other than what we talk about in Warcrafters or this show.
Right, but I will say, just given all the buzz around Clair Obscur, that might be quite spectacular for people.
There are two main endings, as far as I know. There are two main endings to Clair Obscur. One is sad, and one is terrifying and sad. And I watched one live when it was completed. The other one I watched as a VOD somewhere else on YouTube, actually. And let me tell you, the storytelling, the world building, the writing is spectacular because I don't want to ruin it. So here, spoiler, but no, not going to do it.
You need
Not
one
even
that
going to talk
says
about
no
it.
spoiler alert.
So they say, however, one has to wonder if Kingdom Hearts will go beyond Square Enix when it comes to introducing different entities and aspects of RPGs. If the franchise needed a reason to push through with such a decision, then it only has to look at the success of Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Now, here's the kicker about Expedition 33. There's so many little characters in this that could lead to marketing. Oh my God, there's s4e132, who is like the fan favorite, but what I really want are the various brush heads that are in this. Basically, I cannot talk about it because I really think that people need to play or watch this game, and so I'm not going to say anything. Let's just say that the world building
You're dying to, though, I can tell.
God, maybe next weekend. Not this coming weekend, but the weekend after, like 2 weeks from now, essentially. We'll talk about it in a little more in depth. God, Patreon is calling to me like, hey, why don't you create some unique content that's only available on Patreon? But I don't know. Anyway, seeing the amount of success it has received as a new RPG and how it has aspects that easily tie into Kingdom Hearts, it builds a case for the collaboration between Square Enix and Disney to go beyond just Final Fantasy elements and bring Square Enix into it. There's more over here at this article. They talk about the ties, Clair Obscur Expedition 33, and how they're portrayed would fit with the dynamic and those in Kingdom Hearts, showing the entities outside of Square Enix titles can synergize with that of the franchise. And I don't know. It seems really, Clair Obscur is really dark when it's not just plain beautiful. It's kind of dark. When you start paying attention to the story, it gets really dark really fast. Considering when they first land, see, I can't even talk about it. Nope. Moving on. Nope, not even going to do that. Nope. The sentient AI is saying, put up the banner for spoiler alert. But nope, moving on. How about this? One of the 10 really interesting articles that we've read today. Non Sequitur News is where it was aggregated to. Apple may release a mostly glass curved iPhone in 2027. But what about this year? Well, prices are going to go up for the iPhone. Going to go up even more.
It's not going to be a mostly glass curved iPhone.
Yep. So this morning, while summarizing an Apple product blitz, says here, he expects for 2027. Bloomberg's Mark Gurman writes in his Power On newsletter that Apple is planning a mostly glass curved iPhone with no display cutouts for that year, which happens to be the iPhone's 20th anniversary. That follows reports from The Information. I think it's just The Information. Anyway, which said that at least one 2027 iPhone model that will place the front-facing camera underneath the screen to enable a truly edge-to-edge display. Last year from the Elec. So, what is actually coming? I don't know. Glassier iPhones have been rumored for years, says Wes Davis over at The Verge, who put this article together. So I kind of bit the bullet and bought iPhone replacements this year.
Is it glass curved?
No. And even if it was, I don't go naked. Not anymore. Not since the restraining order. Just kidding. But I put it in a case, so it doesn't matter what it looks like. And for the first time, I actually got the non-black phone. I got like that solar whatever one. I don't know. I'm dumb.
Well, so you're not mostly see it if you have a case anyway.
Exactly, and it's a black case, so I'm really dumb. So that follows reports from last weekend from The Information, and late last year, a report from the Elec said that Apple is working with display partners to create a bezel-less iPhone. This is all stuff that has been rumor. After all, they said, I'd describe the iPhone 15 Pro sitting on their desk right now, mostly glass, with the only exterior metal being around the camera lenses and its titanium edge, which the front and back curve down to. Yeah, and that's exactly it. It's glass on the front, glass pane on the back with a titanium ring around it. Oh, that's a titanium ring right there. So I qualify as an iPhone now. No, that's not how that works. All right. Anyway, the mostly glass curve part of Gurman's prediction is more interesting to the author here because what the heck does that mean? Yeah, curved, like it's going to be, you can't lay it down flat because it's going to weeble wobble.
I guess you're not going to put it in your pocket or anything. Like, it just seems like that's going to be kind of a challenge. Plus, it seems like it would break more easily, but maybe not.
It's going to be a soccer ball. It's...
Uh-oh. Yeah, don't drop it. It might go rolling away.
That's right. I don't know. Maybe I'll want it. I don't know. It's in 2 years. Maybe, once the new every two kind of thing sticks to me most of the time. The only reason why I actually upgraded was because there were tariffs right around the corner and I was expecting the price to increase. And there was an ohmTown citizen that wanted my phone. So I gave them the deal. All right. So the next article is over in the Model Channel. Old drains and railways are full of life. Full of life. Life finds a way. Here's how to make the most of these overlooked green spaces. Standing water is bad. Mosquitoes. Just saying. So across Australian cities, leftover and overlooked green spaces are everywhere. Just think of all the land along stormwater drains. Stormwater drains. Not stormwater drains. Stormwater drains. Two completely different things.
Yeah, they are.
Railway lines and vacant lots, like the one that's in my head. While often dismissed as useless or unsightly, geez, it's almost like it's describing my head.
This is giving the Darth Vader woman a run for it.
Tell me about it. Jeez, this article, it's like Darth Vader. Oh God, now we're gonna have to pay $30,000. There's a growing understanding of these value these spaces bring to cities. And that's because they basically become life-giving little mini ecosystems. Hugh Stanford from The Conversation. That is Stanford? That's...
Looks like the middle of nowhere. Oh, no, it's a person.
Yeah, Hugh Stanford. Anyway. So the new research, so these informal green spaces can support biodiversity and offer rare freedom to explore, play, or connect with nature in a less controlled way than formal spaces such as parks. And they also help cool our cities. Yes, green spaces help cool cities. That's pretty much scientifically proven. The new research looks at how cities globally are rethinking overlooked green spaces. So they say local councils are under increasing pressure to create more formal green space, with residents at times calling on councils to buy land for new parks. But let's start with what's already there. So hands off, a case for doing less. So basically whatever is there and abandoned, you just kind of let it go. The hands-off approach has limitation. It works best where a strong sense of community or ecological value already exists, and while nature can bounce back in surprising ways, it often needs a helping hand. So helping out, supporting informal or temporary uses, some councils may see local-led efforts as a liability, but these efforts represent an opportunity to bring life to underused land at minimal cost. So if there's something out there that's hyper local and somebody is energized into action to try and acquire the green space or work with the city to give a tax break or some alternate piece of land, maybe they can do that. So stepping in when formalizing
gorilla gardens. And it's not the animal
they talked
gorilla.
about. Yeah. Where do they? Right at the very top of this, they say.
Up at the top of 2, yeah.
Yeah, where informal installations already exist, such as art installations or unauthorized plantings known as guerrilla gardens, councils can support and even help grow these initiatives. And then there are times where formal intervention is warranted, for example, where land is contaminated or supports invasive weeds, and in such cases, transforming a site into a fully developed park can deliver significant benefits. Land alongside a river, road, or railway can be readily transformed into a long linear park with walking trails and bike paths. And we've actually seen that here in the States, where people have decommissioned train tracks and then they just put blacktop over it. So it's basically a raised biking, running, walking path, but on either side is nothing but trees and bushes and nature. So it's all about, if you work in urban planning or local government, resist the urge to control and replace. Look at what's already available. Sometimes the best thing you can do is observe, step back, and support. Not all public spaces need a master plan.
So that's interesting, because I think a lot of people have tried to do active conversion, right? Like the rails to trails or other similar programs. And
yeah,
I always thought those were a good thing because the space was already cleared out, etc. But I haven't seen one like this.
Yeah, and that rails to trails is a conservancy. It's a thing.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't use that term because I do think that is a specific organization, but I think there are similar efforts under different organizations.
Yeah, let's see. Top trails in every state. You can actually go to it, railstotrails.org. And I guess there's something in every state. That's pretty fascinating. All right, let's go on to our last article. That last article is over in Technology Today. Scientists find lead really can be turned into gold with the help of the Large Hadron Collider. That's all it takes, folks. The Large Hadron Collider. Hold on one second. So, one of the ultimate goals of medieval alchemy has been realized but only for a fraction of a second. Scientists with the European organization, basically CERN, it's called CERN, were able to convert lead into gold using the Large Hadron Collider, the world's most powerful particle accelerator.
This sounds so much like Rumpelstiltskin, right? Is that the right one?
Yeah. With a special wheel that can turn.
Yeah, I think it was straw.
I think it is straw. So unlike examples of transmutation we see in pop culture, these experiments with the LHC involve smashing subatomic particles together at ridiculously high speeds to manipulate lead's physical properties to become gold. The LHC is often used to smash lead ions together. So I guess in this instance, they made gold. Scientists using the high-tech particle accelerator managed to transmute metals for a fraction of a second. Jackson Chen over at Engadget.com put the article together. So the LHC, let me see where it says it. While conducting his analysis, the CERN scientist took note of the near misses that caused a lead nucleus to drop its neutrons or protons. Lead atoms only have 3 more protons than gold atoms, meaning that in certain cases, the LHC caused the lead atoms to drop just enough protons to become a gold atom for a fraction of a second before immediately fragmenting into a bunch of particles. Huh. How much do you think that cost?
You mean to run that experiment?
Yeah.
Probably like $1 billion. I have absolutely no idea.
So a quick search, the LHC's total operating budget is approximately $1 billion per year, with electricity costs alone being $23.5 million annually. So it says that it's not, well, my quick search says that it's not possible to do a per shot LHC cost analysis. because it's a continuous process of colliding particles rather than a series of individual shots. Huh. That's interesting.
Do you think all the power went out in the entire country when they did this?
Let's see. Let's do one more search. $13 billion. The experiments cost something like $13 billion. Initially,
I was on the low end. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, sorry for the silence. This is our last article, so I was trying to find something a little bit more intriguing about this because I really want to know how much it would cost to fire something to create it for a split second. If you can time it just right, maybe you can actually create a particle of gold. Now, obviously, it's not, tons and tons of gold, but if you can transmute lead into gold and it doesn't cost a lot.
Right, then it'd be kind of a no-brainer, right? You could use it for all kinds of electronics and other applications.
Just let it run. It's a lot of eggs. All right, folks. So we're going to jump into the Large Hadron Collider, and that's going to fire our lead butt all the way back to the front page of ohmTown.com, where you should go become a citizen. This is a time machine episode, and so we have to get done within an hour anyway, and we made it. So congratulations, sentient AI from the future. We're no longer stuck in time.
I don't know how we did that.
Stuck in the past. All right, that's it. I'm leaving, and I'm taking the AI with me. You want to say bye?
Bye-bye, ohmTown citizens. Thanks for joining us for Non Sequitur News. Be back tomorrow for another episode.
See you soon. The music stopped right at the end of that. Bye.